Hey everybody. So today is a today was a day that you try to do your best to be a bigger person and to grow, to conduct yourself in a manner that will bring be honorable, to be an honorable person. I've always tried to do that. I'm not perfect at all. I've fallen short of many times, many things in my life, but I have been working so hard to do the right thing. Always, always, always. I cannot think of a single time in my life that I ever intentionally went out of my way to hurt anybody, or that I ever tried to return the kindness with negativity. And today, I guess I was tested. Maybe I got a 75. I tried. I did. I set up this day to do the right thing. And for the most part, I think I did. I really do think I did. So that's why I'm giving myself a 75. I know that 100 is within my reach. I could probably go back right now and get 100. But God isn't finished with me yet, and I still have. I'm immortal just like the rest of us, And there's no one good but God, right? Jesus was perfect. Man, I'm not Jesus, nor claim to be. But I had my feelings. They weren't hurt. I was betrayed. I was trampled upon. Not today. 7 years ago. I was taken advantage of. And my kindness was used as a weakness against me. And people who I thought were my friends, who I had believed were my friends, turned out not to be that at all. But there was another person who was an innocent bystander who had no hand in any of that, but was hurt. And in all these years, I never had the opportunity to make it right. Not that I really needed to, because I didn't do anything. I was victimized but I was prevented from touching base with this person, this person who I loved like a father. And so he passed away recently. And I wasn't notified, you know, which I'm not surprised, but it was hurtful. And how I found out about it was quite by accident. But later on, in between the time that he passed away and today, I was extended an invitation to attend his memorial service. And I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I decided to go because I felt that the person who extended the invitation to me did it out of sincerity. So anyway, I went, and it was a wonderful, wonderful service for a marvelous, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man who has made a positive impact in so many lives. And everybody that knew him had a special story and a special experience that they could share about just knowing this man. You know, he is the embodiment of that fairy tale that they tell us little girls about Prince Charming. But in real life, you know, that hope. And he didn't tell me this story. His wife told me this story. And I was friends with them both. She passed away 7 years ago, which is when the separation occurred between myself and the family. Not him and not her. Not at all. Because what I do know is that she loved me, and that he loved me, and that they both knew that I loved them both. They weren't my parents, but they were my family. And both have taught me such wonderful things and gave me encouragement over the years as I went about my life being a young mother and, you know, starting out on my journey here. And so the problem was never them, you know, the husband and wife. The problem was their children, the one in particular. Well, whatever. Because of jealousy, you know, it's sad. It really is. When you are jealous about the relationship that your father and mother have with someone who's your friend, someone that you brought into their lives and who they just took to. There was no explanation for that. I don't know why they, we never sat down and tried to analyze what it was, but it was just something, that we bonded. The three of us loved each other. Didn't take anything away from the love that they have for their children. That's their family. Those are the children that they gave birth to. But there was not a time when I called or went to see either of those people that their arms weren't open, their door wasn't open, that we had laughter and fun and jokes and just a special friendship that was separate from the friendship I had with their children, with their daughter in particular. And even that friendship was real, I thought. But some folks just I don't even understand what that was about. I don't at all. There's no other word I can find for it but jealousy. And it was so obvious, that even the parents knew. But I don't know that they would ever have imagined that it would have taken the turn that it took. And it has not gotten any it never got any easier for me because it was such a deliberate, profound, unnecessary hurt that was imposed upon me and out of nothing but vindictiveness and jealousy. But today was his memorial service, and I attended, and I'm glad that I did. I really am glad that I did, because it just such a wonderful, beautiful, powerful, mystical, spiritual, wonderful person. Just amazing, amazing soul. Amazing soul. Amazing human being. An angel who walked among us, and I had the opportunity to make this person such a part of my life. And I was honored to know him. But so funny is that he had touched so many people in that way. And everything that was said, he earned every accolade, he earned every good thing, and a job well done. Job well done. And I will forever, ever, ever be in his gratitude. And grateful to God that he gave me that experience. But at the end of the service, they were going to have repasts. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stay. I couldn't go. I could have. There was nothing stopping me from, except maybe his ego. Not because I was too good or anything like that. I don't think I could have held it together. I don't think I could have kept my composure, and I did not want to do that because I wasn't there to get that attention. I don't want that attention. I didn't want that attention. So I guess why I'm doing this right now, making this video, because I still haven't gotten it out of my system. I just walked in the door. I just got back. I'm going to ask you all out there who are my viewers and my subscribers and cross watchers and all that other stuff. I'm asking you today to just do me a favor and just pray for me. Pray for my strength. Pray for my continual growth. Because I don't like that I feel like this. I feel like I should have been above it and been able to socialize, I guess. Because it's one thing to sit in the service and, listen to the pastor and the songs and stuff like that. But then at the end of the service, and, you like to fellowship with the family and, express your condolences and, talk about your memories. And I'm sure, as they're serving dinner at the repast, that people are there sharing their wonderful, wonderful stories about this wonderful, wonderful man. And I would have loved to stay for that, and I would have had a story or two to share myself. But I could not get myself to be able to give eye contact to some of them. Because they're phony and hateful and jealous. And for what reason, I still to this day haven't figured out. Except that, okay, your parents like me. Why is that a problem for you? You should be glad when your parents like your friends. But the problem is that maybe you thought your parents liked me better than they liked you. And it might be the truth. And the truth hurts. But you can't say nothing about that because, that would mess your image up because you're all of that. So you couldn't possibly be jealous of that little dark-skinned girl over there. And I say that because I know her, because she was my friend, and I know how she thinks. And she's insulted me to my face about that. Oh, I don't even know why these guys like you, She said to me one time, she says, yeah, they like you because you got them bedroom eyes. What is that? What's she talking about? I mean, I'm like 23 years old. I don't know what she's talking about. What are you talking about? When I tell you this girl is a beautiful, physically beautiful woman. Always has been. But I think that, and they say you could be beautiful outside, but you could just be an ugly person inside. And she was ultimately an ugly person inside. And jealous because everybody around us, those who were her family members, blood, friends, whatever, her boyfriends, her husbands, ex-husbands, whatever, anyway, they just liked me because I was just cool. Not doing anything, not buying nobody's friendship, not sleeping with them and all of this other stuff. Is not nothing like that. It was just a personality thing. Some people's personalities are easier to get along with than other people's, I guess. You know, and over the years, people, as we get older and grow up and whatever, people are like, oh, really, you're not that nice a person, no matter how beautiful you are. Trifling. That's that. I guess that's only that's only word I guess that could explain it that I can come up with. She just was trifling, just was trifling, and so these are her. This was her stepfather. So anyway, I'm asking you guys to just please help me. Just pray for me to continue to grow and to be strong and to let this energy that I'm feeling right now just kind of dissipate and go back to where it came from, because I got work to do and I don't want this to be interfering in any way with the work that I have to do, the work that this man and his wife knew that I was capable of doing 20, 30 years ago when we all first met. And that they encouraged me over the years to do. So I got to shake it off, I know. But I need, I'll just ask for y'all just do me that favor today, is to just keep me in your prayers and ask God to give me strength and to give me peace and to forgive me, because today I guess I came up short, and to fix this painful thing, make it. Now I heard so much. It's over. Today, that was it, I guess. This could be it. And when he first passed away, I took care of, I had my own little memorial service for him, because I didn't even think that I was going to get an invitation to the service or anything at all. Because had it been the way it was, if they had it, wherever they would have had his actual funeral service, be it here in New York, in Atlanta, Maryland, wherever, I would have been there. I probably would have been there to visit him during his, his time in, as leading up to his passing, because that's just how much I loved him as a father figure, as a mentor, as a hero. And such memories, good memories, because there's no such thing as a bad memory about him. I don't think anybody has a bad memory about him. Well, he's a regular guy, so I'm sure. But I'm saying, for the most part, nothing but great things to be said for this man, about this man. And I am so grateful, again, to have known him and to have loved him and to know that he loved me. So, I'm still a work in progress, and I strive to do better every day. And I'm just asking you all to please do me a big favor and just pray for me. Send me some positive energy so that I can continue to do the work that I have been instructed to do, to help just whatever God gives me to do, to reach out and to help and to inform and educate and, explore with you as we all go on this journey in life. So anyway, this was the program, right? A celebration of life of Cecil Shackleton, February 5th, 1928 to September 18th, 2017. Shack. And this is a booklet. This program is 15 pages long, plus another little program, and I'm going to read it. The Life of Cecil Shackleton. Cecil Shackleton, affectionately known as Shack, made his grand entrance into this world in his mother's kitchen on February 5th, 1928 in New York. The 12th of Alphonse and Alvina Shackleton's 13 children, he is survived by his baby sister Dorothy, who currently resides in a nursing home in Orlando, Florida. He was preceded in death by his 11 brothers and sisters. Born and raised in New York, Shack retired to Baltimore, Maryland, and then Atlanta, Georgia, where he departed this life on September 18, 2017. Not a man to waste a minute of the 89 years between his earthly debut and his final curtain call, Shack lived his life with both personal accomplishments and professional accolades. He blew open doors and shattered racial stereotypes as he lived, thought, and created outside of the box. When young black men were being told everything they could not be, Shack pursued a career as a television repairman working for Philco. He was typically a very humble man, but this was one accomplishment with which he glowed with endless pride. The very definition of a Renaissance man, Shack would follow up the finite and cerebral work of an electrician with the selfless and courageous work of a firefighter for both the Coast Guard and later as one of New York's bravest, a member of the FDNY. After retiring from FDNY in 1969, he joined the volunteer Roosevelt Fire Department on Long Island, eventually serving for a decade as their beloved fire commissioner. Always looking for ways to improve safety standards for firefighters and community alike, Shack, in a partnership with two others, invented both an improved fire escape window gate and an environmentally safe fire suppressing agent. Even in retirement, Shack was drawn to serving his community when he spent a few years dispensing his special brand of wisdom to high school students in the Baltimore City schools. And this is real. You can go and find the patent, the blueprints of the gates that he created. And if you live in New York, there are those gates. They're like accordion gates. They cross, and this way you could have a way to get onto your fire. It'd be a fire escape was a way for people to actually break into your house, right? So this thing that they invented was like an accordion gate that you would pull, and you could actually put a padlock on it, so you could lock it. But if you needed to get out in case of a fire, you could easily pull it from the inside and get onto the fire escape and escape. He invented that. It's called a Shackleton gate. You could Google it right now, and it's there. I know because I did it myself a couple of weeks ago. Um, in in 1950, he married Regina Rogers, and from that union was born their two children, Leslie and Eric. In 1970, he married Vivian, and together they blended their 7 children. A few years later, that number, they added number 8, the love child, Chipper. He wasn't Junior, he was Chipper. He was a chip off the old block, right? So, for over 4 decades, until Vivian passed in 2010, they nurtured and loved each other and the huge family that they had created. In 1976, Shaq and his wife, Vivian, were headed to St. Thomas to visit family when their American Airlines Flight 625 crashed onto the island. Using his experience as a first responder, Shaq got his wife to safety and then proceeded to return to the burning wreckage to help get others off the plane, saving countless lives. He received commendations from the airlines and a hero's welcome when he returned to the States. American Airlines later consulted with him and used some of his suggestions to improve in-flight safety. If you are like many, you're probably wondering how you knew this man all these years and didn't know half of these impressive facts. The reason is because as impressive as Cecil the firefighter hero and inventor was, it paled in comparison to Shaq the family man. Shaq had a heart so big and so pure that everyone who loved him knew that he loved them the most. When you were in his company, you were all that mattered. All who survived Shaq are forever the better because of him. So, there's a lot more, but I wanted to just to get that part. I remember that incident. I didn't know them then. In 1976, I remember watching television and seeing this thing where I think Mayor Beam was the mayor at the time, and he had come. It was on Channel 7, I think, and they had come to his home. And I remember seeing all the kids and his wife and he. I didn't know them, but they presented them with him with keys to the city or something. They gave them tickets to see a play with Mickey Rooney that was really big at the time, and the mayor had come to give tickets to him and his wife, to the whole family, to go. I think it was called Sugar Babies, to go see this play. So it was real. And so when I met him and his wife, I was like, why do they look familiar to me? And his daughter, she was like, yeah, that was them. And I was like, I thought so, But it wasn't because he was bragging or anything. It's because I remember, because I just, remember stuff like that. It stood out to me. And it just was an amazing friendship, an amazing person, a real life hero, There's other stories I could tell. Not that he told me, but, the things that his wife and I talked about. Because like I said, I was friends with them too. She and I would sit down and have tea and talk about life and things like that. Even when her daughters, the girls who were my age, weren't around, just share stuff, about relationships and men and her life before she met this wonderful Prince Charming. And that story that she told me about how she met him and what her life was like before she met him with those 5 children. Because when she met him, she was a single mom. She was a widow and was trying to raise these children. And that's when he came into her life and changed her life completely. Took them out of the projects and moved them to a beautiful, beautiful home in Long Island with a pool and a split ranch, back in the 70s. What? That's a miracle. She's like, what a blessing, that she met this man and that their entire lives were changed because of that. And at my young age, 22 years old, and all I had been experienced up to then, it kind of made you think, maybe there is hope, Maybe there really is a Prince Charming. Maybe he didn't get mugged on his way through Central Park, So it was always a hopeful story. Even going and getting readings. She and I used to go, and this lady used to give us readings. He never went. He was like, I can do that. I don't need her to tell me. I already know. And it's true. He didn't have to. He knew where we were going, and he would listen to the stuff when we got back. We would talk to him about it. Everybody would. We would go like a caravan of us, him and she and I and his daughters and nieces, and we'd go there and sit in that lady's living room and take our turns and wait for her to give us our readings. And he just would laugh and listen. But he was cool like that. He was just cool like that. But the one thing that I want to say is that when I had a fire in a house that I was renting years ago, and my children and I were displaced, and we had nowhere to live. And my daughter was in high school, getting ready to graduate, and then my son was 2. And I was working, and it just was crazy. And my daughter was staying with one set of relatives, and my son was staying with his father's relatives. And on my days off, I was running around trying to find apartment to rent, And come to find out, it was easier to buy a house than it was to try to rent an apartment. I don't know. But anyway. So at the time, Shaq had been, he had his real estate license, because he always kept busy. Not that he had to, he didn't need to. It was just, something to do. And I had been working with this girl, but I wasn't able to find anything with her. And he said, oh, come on, I'll take you. Let's see if we can find something for you, Petty. So my own mother actually came out that weekend, and we all went, house shopping. He took me to several places to see. And then finally he brought me to the house that I ended up buying here. And I loved it, but I didn't want it because it was a bad school district, even though it was a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood. But the school district had just been taken over by the state of New York, and it was the first time that it ever happened, and I didn't want to move here. But it was just such a good deal, and it was such a lovely home, and my mother was like, oh, you have to take it. And when I saw it, I fell in love with it, so okay. So we bought the house. All right, fast forward, we're at closing. He's my real estate agent. We're all sitting at closing. And I could just see him right now. He found a comfortable chair to sit in at the closing. And, they start, saying what money is go to the title search company and this person or whatever. They dribbling up your life and who's supposed to get these checks that you have to turn over to these people. So they, said it, he was supposed to be one of the people getting a check because he was the real estate agent. And he said, nah, that's all right. And put it towards her down payment. I don't want it. Give it to Pat. The entire, like they had a boardroom, a conference room set up, and you have all these people in there. And they were like, you could hear like a what? Like, I didn't know he was going to do that. Nobody in the room knew that he was going to. The bank people, the mortgage people, nobody knew that he was going to do that. My attorney didn't know he was going to do that. And he said, no, it's all right. Put it towards a down payment. What? But that was who he was. And that's every time I pay my mortgage for the last 20 years. Thank God, almost end of this year will be 20 years. But that generosity affected how much I pay every month on my mortgage because he contributed that fee. And back then, I think the brokers get like 5%. That was quite a bit of money to pass up. And he did. Then he just sat and smiled at me and winked his eye. So, I'll forever be grateful for that and so many other things. But right there, that piece of it, and believe me, there were other crazy, great, funny stories that I could share. But that one there, I think that's something that everybody could understand. How generous and profound a thing that was for him to do. And that's who he is and who he was. And I'm so grateful, as I said, that I was able to know him and that the divine felt me worthy to have this man come into my life. Oh my goodness. So today, I'm just thankful for that friendship, and I'm thankful that his son and I would imagine his oldest daughter, Leslie, reached out to me and invited me to come and celebrate the homegoing of their father. And I'm just asking that those of you who know the word and the worth of prayer to pray my strength, that I continue to grow and fulfill the purpose, my life's purpose. And I'm going to go and probably just sit down and cry it out and get it out. And I'll be back if not today, maybe tomorrow, to do some more, to share some more of our work I'll do the readings, but I'm just asking you to please, if you could find time to just send some positive energy my way, and also to send some positive energy towards the light and towards heaven for Commissioner Cecil Shackleton. He was one of the members of the Vulcan Society, which is a society of black firemen in New York. It wasn't easy, but he did it. And I'm proud of him, and his family is ultimately proud of him. It's been a wonderful life. All right. So, thanks everybody, and I appreciate everybody who will just take the time and send me some positive energy. And I'll get back to you all tomorrow. All right. Thank you again. All right. Alafia. Ashe. Amen. Peace.